Thank you for clicking on episode 0 of the Big Bad Podcast. I need to give a quick disclaimer. This is episode 0 because I screwed up my audio and I can't really fix it. It sounds like I recorded it on a freaking phone, so I need to fix that for next time. I'll make sure it's better. I promise. I am really sorry that it's screwed up for this one, but I can't do anything about it now. All right, enjoy. Welcome, everybody, to the Big Bad Podcast. I'm your host, Questionable, with
Trigg the villain here. I am Trigg the villain. Yes.
He is here. He is loud and proud.
Yes, sir.
Or
yes,
as
sir.
your festive name is Trigg the Naughty.
Yo, that was my Christmas name.
Yeah, your Christmas name. Yep, of course. So, we're both streamers. We stream on Twitch. I stream at twitch.tv/questionable_games, and Trigg streams at twitch.tv/Trigg the villain.
Yes, sir.
And we're trying to do a podcast here. So I wanted to start us off, get everyone to get to know us a little bit and what we're all about and everything. So I wanted to ask you, Trigg, what was your first game, and how did you get into gaming in general?
Ooh, my first game. I think my first game ever that I can All right, am I going to count this as a little child playing with cousins, in garage type thing, or we just solo games?
You can do anything you want, honestly.
All right, well, the first game that I have memory of playing was it's either Street Fighter or it was Spawn. It was a Spawn game, a Spawn fighting game, I believe it was, and I think it was for the Dreamcast. And I think I used to play that every Sunday with my older cousins, and we would switch between Street Fighter and that.
That's cool. That's
Cool.
Yeah, my first game is actually
Street Fighter 2.
It's a real old game. So I started my gaming career on the PC, actually, which is kind of rare for a kid. I started with games like Freddy Fish, Putt Putt Saves the Zoo, Pajama Sam, Olo, all these types of click adventure games with little mini games in between. Honestly, all these games are actually on sale on Steam right now. So if you even wanted to see what the games I played, that you could go check them out on Steam, which is kind of fun.
Now, when you played that, was that a download or was that a disc?
Oh, it was on a CD. It was on a CD.
Yeah.
I had to put the CD in my computer. When I still have a CD player in my computer from my old computers, which is kind of funny.
Yo, true. I think it's actually kind of optimal to have a CD player still to this day, just in case.
No, it
just in
definitely
case.
is, especially with different just softwares in general.
Just in case.
Just in case you need to install drivers and everything.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Yeah. So, Trigg, you must have heard about the Game Awards.
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
the Game Awards, of course. There are some big winners in the Game Awards, right?
Yeah, it was actually a lot.
There, Last of Us Part 2 won the Game Awards, swept the Game Awards, actually. Excuse me. By winning Game of the Year, Game Direction of the Year, Narrative, Audio Design, Innovation and Accessibility, Action/Adventure Game, and Performance. And I think it was one of the main characters who won Performance. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Specifically, apologies. But Last of Us Part 2 won pretty much every category it was in.
Even
most of the categories.
Even just Game of the Year, just straight Game of the Year. Last of Us Part 2.
I was very surprised by that because I heard so many mixed reviews from Last of Us Part 2, but I guess that didn't matter in the eyes of the Game Awards because they were just whatever.
Well,
and
now
that
I'm kind of looking at it, the other nominees for it, I think I would go with The Last of Us Part 2 as well. But
really?
Looking at the nominees, and based off of the reputation that they have already, I think Last of Us had it. But I think it could have been better nominees.
I guess the hype definitely led to the success of the game because it definitely had the numbers to be successful. But I also think like that there are definitely other factors that could have made other games win. I just think that maybe they looked at The Last of Us Part 2 and thought it was like way more well polished than the other games.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, I still think once I get into the games that actually completely lost, that where you might change your mind a little bit.
Yeah, okay, okay.
All right. So the other big winners for the Game Awards was actually No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was in, I believe, one category, and it won Best Ongoing Game. Which is very surprising because it beat Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, and Fortnite, which I was very surprised.
Holy, wait, okay, Best Ongoing. I see that right now. And I think it beats Fortnite. I think Fortnite had that in the bag because honestly, I think Fortnite is like one of our.
For Fortnite. I don't even play Fortnite, and No Man's Sky won. I am so surprised by that. But
Fortnite
honestly,
broke a barrier.
Yeah, that's true. But have you heard that No Man's Sky has actually gotten a lot better ever since it came out? Like, I bought that game on release for $60 because I was scammed. Oop, sorry.
Okay. I mean, No Man's Sky, I hear about it. I'm not going to say that I never heard about it, but definitely that, I compared to, like, at least, like, all right, me personally, I heard about Destiny 2. But I can't even speak on Destiny 2 because I heard some bad things about Destiny 2. Like
Well, I mean, Destiny 2 is still way, I feel like,
more relevant.
Relevant. More relevant and way more polished than No Man's Sky. But I think No Man's Sky just has such a loyal fan base that it just stuck true all the way over. So the last big winners are Hades, Among Us, and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Hades winning Best Indie Game and Action Game of the Year, Among Us winning Multiplayer Game and Mobile Game of the Year, and Final Fantasy VII winning Best RPG and Score and Music. So those are the last three big winners. Of course, Among Us is super popular. Everyone plays it right now.
I'll give it to Among Us, though. They made that game 2 years ago, bro, and it hasn't, like, got any buzz. Like, imagine you make something 2 years ago, and then, like, you're still putting your time into it, and then it randomly just gets that buzz 2 years later, and this is one of the most popular games of all time. It's even on Family Guy now. That's amazing.
I didn't even know that.
Yes, man, that's crazy.
That's crazy, honestly.
They made
Hades was just this game that's everyone's been obsessed with ever since, like, speed running and like everything. Honestly, that type of roguelike genre is always super popular, especially with Binding of Isaac, like things like Dead Cells. Like, always, honestly, if you're a game developer and you're wondering what kind of game you should make, just dive into the roguelike RPG genre because you're just gonna crush it. Honestly, crush it.
Is Hades is an indie game, right?
It's an indie game.
Okay, that's actually very good that they got this. Okay, that's actually good.
And they
were
nominated for even Game of the Year.
Yeah, I see that as well too. Right up there with Animal Crossing and stuff.
That's
okay,
insane.
Yeah.
Just being a nomination as an indie game for Game of the Year is a crazy feat. It's honestly insane.
Now, your take on Animal Crossing, because I know I see you play it.
So,
I know it was very popular. It got a lot of sales, and everybody was talking about it.
Yeah,
do you think
I'm getting into that right now?
Do you think that it like died off a little bit?
All right. So for my top three most robbed games of the year for the Game Awards, I labeled them as most robbed games.
Most robbed. Okay.
I've labeled Animal Crossing: New Horizons.
All right.
Fall Guys: Ultimate Knockout.
Okay.
And Ghost of Tsushima.
Tsushima. I see. Ghost of Tsushima.
So I'll get into Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing was a game that outsold their Switches, their console. They oversold their console.
Yes.
During March, like 2020, when it came out. Okay. It like crashed the market. People were reselling Switches.
Yep.
I even had to buy a Switch for my sister and my dad during that time, and I had to buy them from resellers. It was terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
Man. Yeah.
It literally caused a sweat. That's why I think it's the most robbed, because honestly, from how much it sold, it should be game of the year. Like,
yeah,
literally.
If you're looking at it from like the quantity size, like, all right, because Animal Crossing, it was good, it was popular, it definitely sold, it did like,
and it still is popular. Streaming,
yeah, it's still
is,
popular,
very popular.
But like, out of a nice opinion of everyone, like a nice few people told me that like it's only so much you can do with Animal Crossing. Like, okay, yeah,
that's true.
That's true. It is what you expect. You know, you're gonna be farming. You're gonna be getting items continuously. You're gonna be building things up. But it's like, is there more? Like, yeah, of course you can have your friends with you and do it. We can fish, do little mini games.
Yeah,
but like,
and I would like to see some big updates coming from
Animal Crossing. Where's the
especially
hook?
For a next gen console.
Yeah,
I feel like Nintendo should be doing more for certain games that they're producing, like having bigger updates and not just like just the same thing they've always done, where they put out one game and then just put out the next game because they have the quote unquote too many ideas.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit whatever. But next, I wanted to talk about Fall Guys. Fall Guys, big game. It came out. Everybody was loving it.
Yep.
Literally, it was the top most streamed game on Twitch.
Yes, sir.
And then people discovered Among Us, and it died out. What happened? What happened to Fall Guys?
I'm not even gonna lie. I was a big Fall Guys guy too. I even had a channel for it in my Discord. I even got it out of there because it lost so much attention. That's how much attention it lost. Like, I'll still play it, but it's like it's not it anymore, man. It's not it. Among Us gets it out of
there.
there.
I have a theory about Fall Guys. I really do. And I think Fall Guys, it can make the biggest comeback ever.
Definitely.
And I think it could actually be biggest ongoing game if it gets a social feature. It just needs a social feature or a way to create your own lobbies. And then, honestly, Fall Guys could be like the best game ever.
I see exactly what you're saying. I think they tried to make it like a simple, like very simple, like, yo, party up and play. That's it. Like, they wasn't trying to make it like
feature.
Yeah,
Create feature, like where you can create your own games and levels.
That would actually
be
cool. That'd be cool.
Literally, Fall Guys could be an endless game where people could just make tons of like anything they want. Honestly, it could be endless.
But it's a new game. It's new developers. You gotta let them get into it and start to get themselves into. Because I'm pretty like what company made Fall Guys? What company was this?
I believe it was an indie company.
Indie company? Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah. New company. You gotta let them. This is probably the first like very popular game like in the world. So like they gotta get like used to it. And there's still people like playing it. But if they want to step their game up and like get into this, like really into this, they're gonna have to do some like major updates.
Yeah, it's made by Mediatonic. They don't really have that many other very popular games out there.
Yeah.
But they definitely have a few that were sort of noteworthy. But yeah, no, it's definitely a game that has a lot of potential. And I'm saying it now. If Fall Guys makes a big return at some point, I'm calling it right now.
yeah, definitely.
I'm calling it.
You got it.
Yeah. Right. And Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima was up for 7 awards. It was probably the most nominated game.
Yes.
After Hades and Last of Us.
Yep.
Which Hades was up for 8 awards and only won 2. And Last of Us was up for 9 awards and won 7. So, Ghost of Tsushima. Everyone loved it. Everyone thought it was probably a deserving of the Game of the Year slot.
They did a very good job on that game. Extremely very good.
And it was very well polished.
Very well polished. I have no complaints from that at all.
Mm-hmm. And won best art direction. And also, I forgot to mention, Fall Guys won best community support, and Animal Crossing won best family game.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
But I think Ghost of Tsushima definitely deserves some more of the awards than they received.
The Last of Us,
Yeah, maybe like one more award, because they definitely put a lot of work into that game. It
was just a little too much coattail riding from the first Last of Us, man. The first Last of Us, it was good. It might have been PlayStation's top 3 games of all time, but like definitely. It's part 2. Yeah, it's going to be good, but like 7 out of 9, and it robbed like Ghost. Yeah. It robbed Ghost a lot. I see it right now. Like best narrative, best game direction. Oh man. Ghost of Tsushima. Oh, it actually won best art direction. Ghost of Tsushima. Okay, that's actually good. I agree with that 100% because I was playing on like very crappy TV at first when I first got it, and it was still looking like beautiful. I'm like, whoa, this is actually amazing. So they get that from me. They get that.
Yes, definitely. So some 5 more notable winners from the Game Awards before we move on. The Sim Strategy Game of the Year, Microsoft Flight Simulator, very good game, very big game. Everything deserved that for sure. Sports racing game, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. I definitely think they deserve that award. It was very, very well polished and everything. The best fighting game of the year, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate.
Yeah.
Best VR and AR game, Half-Life Alyx, very well polished. Good job by Valve. Honestly, deserved it. And most anticipated game of the year, Elden Ring. Have you seen Elden Ring?
No, I haven't heard of that. What is that actually?
All right, so Elden Ring is like it's a next-gen take on the Dark Souls, like.
Oh, that was the Dark Souls looking. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a Dark Souls looking game with like giant things and everything. It looks really cool. I never played a Dark Souls game.
Oh crap! Is that the thing with the? It had like a little look like a knight fighting like giant monsters and stuff. Okay, yeah, that looks very cool.
Giant dragons and everything.
Yeah, that looks really cool. Very cool.
But yeah, no, I've not heard of Elden Ring, but definitely look into it. Probably will watch some people play it because I'm definitely not good at the Dark Souls series. But I'd be willing to try a Dark Souls game for sure at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's it for the Game Awards. I would take a little time in the segment to go over the upcoming games of the month. Unfortunately, there's not that much coming this month because December just happened and January is not a very big gaming month. So the 2 most noteworthy things are Hitman 3 is returning on January 20th. Yeah. And now all the locations from the prior 2 games are now going to be available in Hitman 3, so you can be looking forward for that. And The Medium is a next-gen horror game with different take on the horror franchise. Basically, you can seamlessly transition from the real world to the spirit world using your Xbox Series X and PC, and that'll be coming out on January 28th.
Okay.
But yeah, there's really not that much coming out besides like some indie games and those 2 games that looked pretty promising. But so yeah, we're just gonna move through that. We're gonna jump to the Cyberpunk 2077 lawsuit. That's
okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's get
so Cyberpunk actually got a 7 out of 10 review score, but on old gen consoles it received a 3 out of 10.
Oh.
Because there's actually game-breaking bugs that make the game physically unplayable on old-gen consoles.
Alright.
And it still remains unplayable, which led Sony to actually take it off the PlayStation Store. And as of recently, Rosen Law Firm filed security class action lawsuit against CG Project Red. And according to them, according to the lawsuit, defendants throughout the class period made false or misleading statements or failed to disclose that. And they listed a couple of reasons here. It was virtually unplayable. Sony removed it from the store. Consequently, CD Projekt Red would suffer reputational and harm, and as a result, defendants' statements about his business operations and prospects were materially false.
Now,
and so
okay. Now let's get into a little bit of a background of why they would be angry. So Cyberpunk 2077, it was a very anticipated game for 2020. They've been talking about it literally since 2012. Since 2012, and they had celebrities promoted it. Keanu Reeves, Grimes, A$AP Rocky. Everybody's promoting this for 7 years. Literally seeing it on IGN constantly, almost every day.
On old gen consoles, which is really unfortunate.
And then like seeing them promote it every day. Like I've literally logged into IGN, and it has been a week since they talked about Cyberpunk 2077. So this type of anticipation for this many bugs and glitches and problems I understand exactly why everybody would be mad and upset right now.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's definitely very good reason to be upset. But at the same time, I still think Cyberpunk is not a bad game.
I don't think it's bad either.
It's not a bad game. There's definitely fun aspects of it. I enjoyed playing it. I enjoy playing it myself. I would just like there to like I play on PC, but I would like there to be some bugs that are fixed on PC as well. Definitely the trees clipping through the walls is super annoying and very bad for like the immersion of the game, and honestly they really need to fix that. So I probably won't be playing Cyberpunk that much until all these bugs and glitches will be figured out. But honestly, if you're looking to get Cyberpunk, I'd recommend waiting like a year once they have DLC coming out and like just everything is fixed bug wise and everything.
Yeah, that kind of makes that gives me like vibes.
It's unfortunate, but this game should have taken 8 years. It shouldn't have taken 7.
Yeah, this definitely gives me vibes from Fallout 76, because Fallout 76, Fallout's a very popular and very good game, especially to its like community is in diehard fans. And like me, after Fallout 4, one of the most amazing Fallouts of all time, I was expecting Fallout 76 to be literally godly, and I get literally no NPCs. There's only players around that are like level 100 on the first day of release, killing you constantly. I'm not going to go too much into that, but I definitely feel the pain from this.
The pain is real, definitely real. And honestly, I understand why people want refunds and everything. They should rightfully get those refunds because they were lied to about the old gen consoles being able to run Cyberpunk, and nobody tested it. Nobody.
Yeah.
So yeah. But speaking of consoles, Trigg, great segue, right?
Yeah.
The console wars. Hey.
Ooh,
so the PS5 versus the Xbox Series X. They both cost the same price,
yes,
$499.
Yep.
$499. Except the PS5 has a digital version which costs $399, and the Xbox Series S is $300. So here are some specs for the Xbox. The CPU runs at 3.8 gigahertz. GPU runs at 12.0 teraflop AMD RDNA 2. RAM is 16 gigabytes. It runs at 8K, 120 hertz refresh rates, offering up 1 terabyte of storage, and it's backwards compatible for all the original Xbox systems. PS5, unfortunately, not as powerful as the Xbox Series X by
I saw that.
Very, very, very small margin.
I saw that.
CPU runs at 3.5 gigahertz. The GPU is a 10.3 teraflop AMD RDNA 2, and it has 16 gigabytes of RAM, of course, 8K, of course, 120 hertz refresh rate, of course, offering up 825 gigabytes of storage, and it's backwards compatible with only the PS4 system. Very good consoles. I was looking online, and everyone's calling the console war a tie. So, honestly, but I don't know how accurate that is because of the fact that exclusives matter. And let me just go into exclusives, right? So, Xbox games has Halo Infinite, Fable, State of Decay 3, Forza Motorsport, Everwild, Evode, As Dusk Falls, and Stalker 2 coming to Xbox Series X and S.
And don't forget about the anticipated Gears of War.
The problem with that is, though, all of these games are also going to be available on PC.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the real problem with all of these games.
That leads me to another question. For someone to say, hey, I don't need to get PlayStation 5 or Xbox because I have a PC.
Yes.
Is that sort of, not a flex, but how can I say that? Is that more optimal to have? Just a PC over getting the newest
Honestly,
PS5 or Xbox and just saying
that
just
really is the case, though. There's a lot of games on PC, and now all the Xbox exclusives are coming to PC.
Yeah, because it's like only thing I can think of, like
getting an Xbox.
The only thing I can say is like, okay, you won't get exclusives, but like most of the exclusives are single player games mainly, and they focus mainly on single player gameplay. So I'm like, all right, after you do the single player gameplay, yeah, you can stream it, you can show it, you can play it again. Where is the, like the grabber? It's like, all right, I have a PS5, and it's like, I have a PC. There's things I can do that you cannot do. So
and all of their exclusives are there. They have Astro's Playroom, Demon's Souls, Destruction All-Stars, Sackboy Big Adventure, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7, Returnal, and Stray. Out of all those games, none of them are available on PC.
Yeah.
And it's even a question if they're going to be available on Xbox.
Yeah.
If at all. So, but yeah, no, I think in my mind the PS5 definitely wins this war.
In terms of like not like just like gameplay alone, just like access, man. Access, like you can just get a freaking PC and download probably the next Xbox games or PS6 games that's going to be out later for us to get, and then you'll just already had spent your money on the next 3 consoles. So I'm like, I can see why everybody would want the console, because now everybody's a PC gamer, of course. Duh. I just started getting into this, but like, I have no argument over somebody saying I have a PC. F that. Yeah, which I shouldn't have one, but it's like, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree that PS5 is probably your best choice.
Yes.
To get
Agreed.
A next-gen console.
Agreed.
I would, unless you're very, very like
die-hard Xbox.
A lot of money. If you don't have a lot of money, I would recommend getting the Xbox Series S, because even though it's way cheaper and probably nowhere near as good as the Xbox Series X, you're probably still going to get a lot of games, and you're still probably going to be able to play a lot of games.
Yeah.
But it's still better than your Xbox One. Definitely better than your Xbox One.
Yeah,
All right. It's time to move on and talk about our favorite topic of the night, right? Hashtag
free melee.
Free melee. All right, do you want to give a rundown, or should I give the rundown for
hashtag
free melee?
I mean, all right, I can give like a nice basis of it. So, free melee refers to a hashtag campaign started after Nintendo sent a cease and desist to Big House, which was an online group organizing a Smash tournament that had like a lot of money coming in, a lot of big names going out, and they were using software to play the game from GameCube and stream it on their, on Twitch and stuff, called Slippy. And the cease and desist angered everyone because of the basically Nintendo was saying in the times of COVID, when you can't get together and play it normally, you can't play it online either. And everybody was upset, Big House had to offer refunds and all this, and everybody's just free melee now.
Yeah, no, definitely. Slippy is a just so everyone knows, it's a Dolphin emulator, which actually the only thing it does is fix the netcode for the for melee, so you can play online with friends and everything. It doesn't really change the game whatsoever, but this now falls into a little bit of a gray area with emulation, because emulation is technically a legal way to do things.
Yeah.
As long as you're ripping your own copy of its own BIOS or game image you want to play.
Yep.
There is a Nintendo perspective here that Nintendo has a lot of games in their library that are on ROMs.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like to download these ROMs constantly. Because
they don't have access to the older games.
To it.
Older consoles.
They may have the game, or they might not even want to try to figure out a way to get their BIOS from their game onto their emulator, because it's just too complicated, and it's way easier to download it. But that, from a Nintendo's perspective, this makes 100% sense for them to do something like this, because they don't want people to be encouraged to download their game and play online melee. But at the same time, from a player's perspective, they're like, why do this and still not support our game? Because Nintendo, as everyone knows, has not been supportive of Melee for many
Nintendo is not supportive of competitive tournament play on any Super Smash Brothers. They literally let everybody do it, and they will not do it. And they will literally put their support into games that are not popular. Like, they put their support into ARMS for a tournament, and that ended. That died. ARMS, I literally seen a tournament for ARMS on the freaking, what was it, Wii, and they're fighting, and it's like, it's not even that many people there watching it. I don't understand it. Like, I guess they wanted to make this a family game, and that gets them more money, having a family game, than competitive tournament play as a competitive fighter. Because it honestly did win the Guinness World Book of Records for best fighting game of all time. So yeah, I don't understand why they wouldn't even support this.
Yeah, and at the same time, Nintendo is definitely a company that, they're a company. They want people to buy their games and everything, and they probably thought that allowing people to buy, download Melee for free was definitely a. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I am no way in favor of Nintendo or the competitive scene in Melee. I'm not on either side.
Because I don't even play Melee, but I do see the pain that they're feeling, but I also see the business aspect from Nintendo. So I'm like, it's kind of like a stale lock, but they're still going to continue getting free Melees under every comment.
And at the same time, Instagram. Nintendo is not the only company who runs a fighting game to do things like this. Capcom does the same thing with Street Fighter and their old Street Fighter games. I know Street Fighter 2 is one of the most popular Street Fighter games of all time. And they don't support that whatsoever. But yeah, no, Nintendo's not the only company to ever do something like this, but it's definitely more extreme company. Because it's coming from Nintendo, who is one of the biggest gaming content producers of all time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really effective of some players, but at the same time, I think we should take it as a grain of salt for right now, because there are other things that are going on in Nintendo that are probably more likely to fight against, mainly due to content wise, like what games can we download, what games are, and also this begs the question of what's fair use? What does fair use mean in gaming? Does fair use even have a place in gaming? Are we allowed to download a game that's many generations old? When are we allowed to do these things, and when are we? This is the real question we should be looking for. Instead of just fighting for one thing, we should be fighting for an entire purpose. We should be trying to understand what it means to be what it means to have fair use in gaming.
Yeah, but because I see what you're saying, but gaming's a new, sort of not new, but a very new on the scene thing. Because back in the day, you can a 18-year-old could be gaming all day in the 90s and be I'm going to be the greatest gamer, and they're literally talking nonsense to everyone they say it to, until they reach their goal. Now somebody can say that and you'll believe them, and you'll see them doing it. You'll see okay, yeah, he's a gamer. That's a thing. They do that. It's starting to become a reality as a source of income, or as of something that's not just a wasting time. It's actually something that's, entertaining, good, and becoming its own thing. So I can see where these questions stem from, and why they would there's so many questions coming out. We're breaking the barrier here. We gotta get things in. We had the first Game Awards. Yeah, so.
And a lot of things are very in question in times of COVID. Hopefully we can be out of this pretty soon, but at the same time, I think people should be looking into bigger questions on fair use and everything, because it's a very important topic that hasn't been introduced to gaming, because gaming is a fairly new concept. And I do appreciate the fact that there are some steps being taken to get more rights towards gamers, for example, the recent New York lawsuit against Nintendo for their inaccessibility to repair your own equipment of like Nintendo systems, such as the Switch Lite.
Okay, all right.
There was a recent lawsuit because you can't repair your Switch Lite unless you send it into Nintendo, and the Joy-Cons easily break, as you might know.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Literally had to buy like a third-party Joy-Con myself because I didn't even want to like spend another, $90.
Yeah, no, I understand. Well, I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with this first episode. If you guys have any comments on what we could do better or what topics that we can talk about, let us know. I don't know if we're gonna do this like bi-weekly or monthly yet, but we're probably gonna work it out and stuff. And if you have any ideas for guests that we could have on this podcast, let us know also. But yeah, I think that's it. Trigg, do you have any final words to say?
I have nothing really much to say. My name is Trigg the Villain. I'm a self-taught tattoo artist out of Jersey. You can hit me up on all my social media is the same at Trigg the Villain. I'm sponsored by Villain Gaming, esports gaming family team that I have, and got some members in there, some associates, and some close allies in there. Guys can check us out. Just follow my media. You should see it there anywhere.
Yeah. Well, to the next Big Bag podcast. See you guys.
See ya.